Hi everyone, I'm Alexandra Divine and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's video is all about skincare and specifically what I have been doing in the run up to my wedding to make sure that my skin is just gonna be its best glowy self for the big day. If you like the video today, please give it a big thumbs up and hit subscribe, and if you hit the bell you'll also get all of the notifications for my upcoming videos. So over the last year or so I've been on a bit of a skincare journey. Now prior to kind of lockdown starting in March 2020, I had been using the same products for maybe about 5 years and they were very expensive products which I'd picked because I was kind of like, okay, well, these are really expensive, so they must be the best. Basically, my skin at the beginning of last year, I was really noticing that it was just in extremely poor condition. Like it was so dry, it lacked any kind of glow, it was just dull. If I kind of like touched this part of my cheek here, it was really flaky. I was starting to notice fine lines appearing a little bit more. I would get like lines here from when it's like sunny and things, when you would kind of like squint, and I'd got these two lines here and it got to the point where the lines weren't going away anymore and they were just kind of permanently there. And at the beginning of last year, so I was due to get married in June 2020 before obviously everything changed, and in January I was honestly going to get Botox in time for the wedding. Now I have never had Botox before in my entire life or any other kind of anti-wrinkle injection, but my skin was in such bad condition at the start of 2020 that I was just like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna have to get Botox for the wedding because I'm getting married abroad. I'm definitely gonna be squinting and I don't want to look like I'm angry all day because I've kind of got these like two lines. I just wanted to have the best skin for my wedding day. Then lockdown, March 2020 hit. I decided to go ahead and change my skin game and I purchased this book. So this is Skincare by Caroline Hirons, and this book changed my entire skin game. Basically everything that I had been doing was just wrong. So the products that I had been using were Dermalogica, and for anyone who doesn't know Dermalogica, they're kind of one of the kind of big skincare brands that are used in spas. A lot of spas either have like Dermalogica or they have Elemis. So the moisturizer that I was using, which was the same size as this, was costing me £80, literally 80. And the eye cream that I was using, which was the same size as this, was costing me £48. And like I said, my skin was just as bad as it could possibly be. Now, this isn't to bash Dermalogica, by the way, because it probably wasn't the products that were the problem, but it was how I was kind of cleansing my skin, which was one of the really main issues. Now, I'm a little bit kind of ashamed to kind of say what I had been doing because I kind of, you know, in hindsight, now I know all this stuff, like from reading this book, it's probably stuff that I should have known anyway. For cleansing my skin, I was using these Nivea cleansing wipes. So as far as I was concerned, I was looking at these and they're like, oh, they're cleansing wipes and they've got 0% alcohol and 0% fragrance. So, oh yeah, these must be like great for my skin. Not knowing that obviously these were just not really cleansing my skin properly at all. So obviously they'll have been kind of cleansing it a bit, but just nowhere near cleansing it enough. And so when I was putting then all this expensive product onto my face after using these, because my skin wasn't cleansed properly, my skin just obviously wasn't able to absorb all the products kind of as well as what it should have been. Another big problem that I was doing wrong with my skincare is that I wasn't using any kind of serums before my moisturizer, like literally none. And another thing was the moisturizer that I was using from Dermalogica, it basically contained SPF 50. So again, in my head, I was like, oh great, it's got SPF in it, so it's protecting my skin from the sun. But I was using it at nighttime as well, so I'd kind of put this on to go to bed in. It's better to have a moisturizer and SPF separately. Obviously you don't need to wear SPF at night. Having a product that has both in, it's just really kind of stopping a lot of the moisture getting absorbed, because the SPF is such kind of like a thick product. So I kind of got my way through that book, and I decided that I was just gonna go on a bit of a skincare product journey. And after being like loyal to like one brand for such a long time, I was just gonna try like so many different brands. So this was kind of March 2020, and the routine that I'm gonna show you today, like the skincare products and the routine that I do, this is what I've been doing now for a good few months, and honestly, my skin has just completely transformed. My skin is no longer dry. I can actually touch my cheeks and it feels soft. Like honestly, it felt so dry and flaky, and it's so nice to be able to actually touch my skin and it feels soft and moisturized. And I actually can't believe it, but it's reversed the lines that I had developed as well. Like I really thought that these lines were just, I had like those lines really developing here as well. So it was like here and here, and I just really kind of thought that they were going to be here to stay. But thank goodness thank goodness I was able to have the time to really look into this properly and change up my skincare routine, because they have gone, and I'm not going to get Botox now. And I'm really happy about that, to be honest with you, because like I said, I've not had Botox before, and even though obviously there's nothing wrong with getting Botox and I was going to get it myself, if I can avoid injecting that kind of stuff into my skin, I want to avoid doing it for as long as possible. Just by kind of doing this skincare routine that I'm going to show you, it's just completely transformed my skin. The products that I'm using as well are significantly cheaper than the Dermalogica range, and it just goes to show that you do not need super expensive products to have good skin. All the products that I am going to show you today are not sponsored in any way by any of the brands. Now, one thing that I think is really important to say in this video is that even though I'm going to show you the products that I use for my skin, it isn't necessarily going to be these products that you like for your skin. It's more about the routine and the order in which you put certain things on. That is what is important. It isn't necessarily this moisturizer is the one single moisturizer that's the best moisturizer in the world. Like, I don't believe in that. I think that there are different products for different people and different kind of like skin types. These were just the products that worked really well for my skin type, but I think what's important is, like I said, the order in which you do things and the ingredients within each product. So for instance, like a retinol product, it's good to kind of have a retinol in there, but it doesn't have to be this brand of retinol. It's obviously everyone's going to have a moisturizer in there, but it doesn't have to be this brand of moisturizer. And I think it's really important for everyone to kind of go on their journey and see what is kind of working best for their skin. If you are watching this video specifically because you have an upcoming wedding and you want to get your skin in the best condition for your wedding, one tip that I'm going to give you is that you really need to start this as early as possible. Really, you need to start this like 6 months in advance or even longer. It's been a whole year since I kind of started this routine, and you know, my skin is a lot better now, but it didn't happen overnight. So the longer you can do this ahead of your wedding, the better. If you are watching this and your wedding is in maybe like 2-3 weeks time, I would strongly recommend not changing anything about your current skincare routine. That is just because obviously if you go in with like new products, you don't know how your skin is going to react to new ingredients and things kind of like changing up, and it potentially could bring out spots, it could bring out like rosacea. Even though in the long term the products are going to be really great for your skin, but it just might take a little bit of time for your skin to adjust. So I am going to get all of this makeup off and then go through with you step by step all of the different products that I use and how I use them. But before I go into products that I use kind of on the outside of my face, I want to just talk a little bit about kind of internal factors as well. So kind of obvious things like If you smoke, that's going to affect your skin. Drinking alcohol affects your skin. Eating too much sugar or kind of fast food, like processed food, those three things all negatively affect your skin. Now, I do eat a lot of fruit, but I also do take some extra supplements. So I have one of the multivitamin gummies every day. These are just from Asda. These are £3 and you get 30 in there. So it's kind of like £3 a month. You can get the multivitamins that are a lot cheaper, but I like that these are gummies, to be honest with you, because they taste really good. And because they taste really good, they're just like sweets. I look forward to having one of these every day. So it helps me to not forget. And I also then late on an evening, I take my calcium and vitamin D. Vitamin D is just so good for your skin. A little bit of a disclaimer is that I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionalist. Please always read the labels before you take anything. So I just want to say as well that I'm not kind of claiming here to have the best skin in the world. But this video is more to kind of show you how I was able to change kind of my dry, dull, aging skin. In a year, I've kind of changed it to being moisturized and glowy again. The lines have miraculously gone away. I am over 30 now. I'm in the over 30s club. And I have had a bad history with my skin. So I think given that I am over 30 and had a bad history with my skin, even though I don't have the best skin in the world, I am really, really pleased with how my skin is at the minute, because it's possibly the best my skin has ever been in my whole life. So I have no makeup on my skin and my hair is out the way, so I am ready to start my evening routine. So we're going to start with cleanse. Now I actually do a 2-stage cleanse because I want to make sure that my skin is just super, super, super clean. So when I'm doing my cleanse, I use these cotton wool pads. These are just from Asda. I think they're about 69p and you get like 200 of them in there. So the very first thing that I'm going to do is just wet my skin ready for cleansing. So I just use one cotton wool pad and literally just rub this all over my face just to make sure it's nice and wet for when the cleansing goes on. Now, one really key tip if you want really like glowing, youthful skin is to not just work on your face. You do need to come down all the way. Sorry, this is a really bad angle. You need to come down all the way onto your neck as well, because you don't want to kind of have a really glowing, youthful face, but your neck obviously is neglected and they look different. So do make sure to get your neck as well. So that's all nice and wet. So now I can start with my first stage of cleansing. So for my first cleanse, I'm using this Garnier Rose Soothing Cleansing Milk. Now, this is actually a really cheap cleanser. I just get this from Asda and it is £3.50. I really like that this product is vegan. I'm not a vegan myself, but I always kind of like to try and make an effort and reduce things where possible. So I'm just gonna pop on about that much cleanser onto the cotton pad. Now, I'm obviously looking at the camera, I'm not looking in the mirror, so bear with me if I kind of get this a little bit off, but I just kind of do a little bit of spotting just on my cheeks, forehead, nose, chin, and then neck, and then just kind of rub it in circles. Obviously, I don't want to kind of bore you to death with kind of how to wash your face. I'm sure you know how to wash your face. But yeah, so just kind of pop this. I really like this product. It smells really nice. It just feels nice, and it does cleanse my skin really well. Like normally you can kind of see when I'm done, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but you can kind of see like the dirt that it's picked up off my skin. So yeah, I don't have a bad word to say about this cleanser. Okay, so that's stage 1 done. So it's obviously the cleanser is on there and then we need to get it off. So I've wet this pad now, so I'm just going to quickly wipe that over, just take off the last bit of that cleanser before I move on to stage 2. This doesn't have to be that kind of like that thorough, because we are going to go into like obviously the second stage of cleaning, but it's just to kind of get if there was any like bulk of that product, just to get that off. So for my second cleanse, I'm going to use the Garnier Micellar water. This is £5, so I'm basically going to do just the exact same thing. I'm just going to wet the pad with the micellar water and then just quickly go over my face again. Because I've cleansed and then this is micellar water, I then don't rinse the micellar water off. You definitely don't need to do that. So now my skin is all lovely and cleansed, I'm gonna go in with the toner. Now I have two different types of toner. Now on my evening routine, this is the one I'm gonna use now. Sticking with Garnier, I use the Rose Soothing Toner. Now again, this one is vegan, and I use this one because it's kind of really gentle for your skin, and because I'm going to go in with like serums and like different bits after this on the evening routine, I prefer to go in with a much more gentle toner. Now if this was my morning routine, so my cleanse would be the same, but I'm going to go in with Garnier Organic. Now let me hope I can pronounce this right. I'm going to go in with a salicylic acid. Salicylic? Salicylic acid. I hope that's right. To pronounce it before. So I go in with this one on a morning, because obviously it does have that acid in it, which is a little bit, it's good for like blackheads and that kind of thing. So I use that one on a morning, but because this is my evening routine, I'm going to use the gentle one. So again, it's the very same. I might even just speed you up as I'm putting this on, because, you know, I mean, how many times do you need to see me rubbing a cotton pad across my face? The Rose Soothing Toner, this one is also £3.50. I get it from just Asda. This one, the Garnier Organic one, this one's a little bit more expensive. I think this one's £5.95. So the next two stages, which is the Exfoliate and Serum stage, I do not do in my morning routine. So I just completely cut this out. This is for nighttime only. But for my exfoliator, I use the nip+fab glycolic acid liquid glow, they're calling it. So this is literally like an acid exfoliator. It isn't like the kind of traditional exfoliators with all like the kind of like the hard like beads in it that you rub across your face. So I'm going to use this. Now this is where it gets slightly complicated, because if I'm going to be using retinol in my nighttime routine, I'm not going to use the glycolic acid on that night. Now last night I used my retinol. I will talk about how I use the retinol, etc. when I get to that stage, but I used the retinol last night, so I'm not going to use the retinol today. So that's why I'm going to go in with the glycolic acid exfoliator. If it was a retinol evening, I'm going to go in with the nip+fab Retinol Fix Tonic instead. So I buy my nip+fab products just from Boots. The Retinol Fix Tonic, this one is £25, and the Glycolic Fix Liquid Glow, this one is £20. Now, normally with nip+fab products, there is always like discounts and offers on. So for instance, the last offer that I saw in Boots, it was 3 for 2 on all the products, and they are all kind of similarly priced, like the serums and the moisturizers and things. So it's kind of like getting one free. But on the website, I'm sure they just always have offers on. So I'm going to go in with the exfoliator, and I'm just going to kind of wet this pad with it all and then pop it up. I'll speed you up again. Okay, so now that I have exfoliated with the glycolic acid, or if it was a retinol evening, it would have been the retinol tonic. Now that phase is done, I'm going to move on to the serums. Now I have 4 different products that I use for this stage of my nighttime routine. The first product of the 4 products that I use at this stage of my evening routine is the nip+fab Retinol Fix Serum. Now, for anyone who doesn't know anything about this, retinol is a vitamin A based product. It's kind of like an anti-aging. This product is £30, but again, because nip+fab do pretty much always have an offer on, it does work out cheaper. This product actually contains 0.3% retinol. Now, I think that in the scheme of retinol products, that is considered quite low. I know that you can definitely get retinol products with 1% retinol, 0.5% retinol. I don't know if some extreme products maybe go up to like 2%, but this is 0.3%. Now, because I am still relatively young, yeah, I'm going to call myself relatively young, I don't really need the higher percent product at the minute. But if you are perhaps 40 plus, 50 plus, then it might be best to look for a product that has a higher percentage of retinol in it. They pretty much always recommend doing a patch test before you start any retinol products as well, because it can burn your skin. And if you are using retinol, I mean, it's important to use SPF anyway, and obviously I will talk about that as part of my, that's part of my morning routine. But if you're using retinol, it's like even more essential to use SPF. This product I use around 2 times a week. Again, if you are 40 plus, 50 plus, you probably would want to be using the retinol maybe 3-4 times a week, but at the minute I use this 2 times a week. Next product that I use at this stage is the Body Shop Vitamin E Overnight Serum, and same as the retinol, I use this about 2 nights a week for this stage of the routine. This one costs £16, and I just think it's really good to kind of mix up what serums you are putting on your face, because then you're kind of getting the benefits of all those different ingredients. And then once a week, I use one of the Garnier tissue masks. Now, I have a variety of them because they kind of come in like different scents and slightly different, you know, this one's like an ultra lift. I've got a Nutri Balm, a moisture balm, but ultimately the main ingredient, or not the main ingredient, but like the kind of the main promoted ingredient in all of these masks is the hyaluronic acid, which is the incredibly moisturizing acid. So I use this once a week. I'll pop this on like a normal tissue mask and I leave it on for 20 minutes. Now, it does say on the back to leave it on for 15 minutes, and I probably should say that you should do what the packaging tells you to do, but I do leave it on for about 20 minutes. These masks are £2.95 each. I think the Ultra Lift mask, I think, is actually £3.95. And then the final product of the 4 kind of serum products, and it's the one that I'm going to use now. It's the Nip+fab Vitamin C Fix Concentrate. This actually just smells of like pure oranges. Oh yeah, that smells amazing. Like, oh, it smells like a drink. Yeah, so again, this one is £25, so this is the one that I'm going to use now. So I just fill up the pipette, and then I just kind of pop this on. Oh my god, this smells so good. So yeah, I just rub this on with my hands rather than using the cotton pads. So once that's all on there, I do like to wait about 5 minutes before I put my moisturizer on to allow my skin to like really absorb all of that vitamin C. Okay, so now that serum has really sunk into my skin, I'm gonna go in with my eye cream. So like one of the serums, for my eye cream, I use the Body Shop Vitamin E eye cream. And I actually also use, when I do the eye cream, I'm then going to go on with the moisturizer, and I also use the Body Shop Vitamin E moisturizer as well. For me personally, I like that the cream is really like thick, as well as liking the smell as well. So I'm going to just pop that on now. And then this eye cream and this moisturizer is also what I use in my morning routine as well. And then the moisturizer, and then the only difference then after that is that once I've put my moisturizer on, that's going to be the end of my evening routine. Whereas on a morning, once I've popped my moisturizer on, I will wait again a few minutes to kind of let that absorb into my skin, and then I'll go in with SPF. I use the Body Shop Vitamin E and the Body Shop Vitamin C. I have both. So once my moisturizer is in on a morning, that's when I would go in and put that on top, and that just, yeah, protects your skin from just all of the bad things that are out in the air, all the bad UV rays, all like the chemicals and like the pollution and everything in the air. That's going to protect your skin. Like, that's just so crucial. So the eye cream is £13, the moisturizer is £15, and the SPF is £16. Now that the moisturizer is all nice and absorbed into my skin, that brings me to the end of my nighttime routine. I would head to bed now, get some sleep. But yeah, like I said, if this had been my morning routine, I would have now put the SPF on and then head out and, you know, got on with my day. I really hope that you found this video helpful. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a big thumbs up and hit subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye guys.